Now, choosing a suitable monitor and placing it in an appropriate position is all going to help you reduce exposure to some forceful movements, exertions, and some awkward postures. Not to mention the overhead glare that sometimes then makes us move our head from side to side in, again, another awkward position. This helps prevent possible negative health effects such as excessive fatigue, eye strain, and neck and back pain. So let's just consider some of the following issues to help us improve our computer workstation. One of those would be our viewing distance, the viewing angle, the height and side to side, viewing time, and the viewing clarity. Now, a lot of that's getting better with better technology that's being released. But if you're working on some of the older equipment, some of these different hints are still going to help you as well. Now, you should choose a monitor and consider its placement in conjunction with other components of the computer workstation, including the keyboard, the desk, and the chair. Now, some potential hazards regarding viewing distances is that if it's too long, it can cause you to have to lean forward and strain to see the small text. Now, this is really one of those things that fatigues your eyes and then places stress on your torso because the backrest is no longer providing support. So the viewing distance that is too short may cause your eyes to work harder to focus, and it may require you to sit in an awkward posture. For instance, if you may tilt your head backward or push your chair away from the screen, causing you the type of outstretched arms, this reaching for the keyboard type of position. Now, possible solutions are to sit at a more neutral and comfortable distance from the monitor, where you can easily read all the text with your head and torso in an upright posture. Your back is then supported by your chair. Now, generally, the preferred viewing distance is recommended to be between 20 and 40 inches. Now, check that out. We're talking about 2 feet to almost 3 to 4 feet, depending again on the size of your font and the size of your screen. Now, from your eye to the front of the surface is how we're measuring this distance, from your eye to the front of the surface. And I know this sounds corny, but if you've got to get a tape measure out, in the long run, it's going to pay off. Some other potential hazards when working with your head and neck turned to the side for a prolonged period is really the fact that this really loads a ton of stress on your neck muscles. I mean, it's uneven, it's unbalanced, it's an unnatural posture, and it's definitely going to increase fatigue. Fatigue normally then strains the muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Pain is the first symptom of this, trying to remind you that something's not right, but if it's not corrected, this can become chronic and cause some degenerative types of pathologies. I want to mention some possible solutions, which is positioning your computer monitor directly in front of you so that your head and neck and your torso face forward whenever you're viewing the screen. The monitor should be no further than 35 degrees to the left or to the right. And if you work primarily from printed material, make sure to place the monitor slightly to the side and keep the printed material directly in front of you. Make sure you pay some common sense here, because you're just going to make sure that your neutral posture is focusing on what you're going to spend the majority of your time with. So if it's your monitor is going to be in the center. If it's the printed material, it'll be the printed material in the center. Keep the printed materials and the monitors as close as possible to each other. So again, you're going to be then incorporating eye movement less than you'll bring this head movement into play.